Hello, everybody. As Gary said, my name is Rick Gandhi. I'm an account executive here at Sellercloud. Let's talk some updates. So, a very important life lesson that I learned is that the only constant in my life is that everything is always changing. And that can definitely be said for the e-commerce world, for our vendors, for the sellers, absolutely anybody, and we have to keep up with the change. For things that are changing, we have to enhance ourselves, right? So Sellercloud prides itself on making enhancements and updates. So with that, let's talk about some updates. So in any successful business, efficiency is key. So in the past, there's a lot of monitoring, a lot of manual work, or even as Jeremy mentioned, the post-order plugins that we had to create for you guys. Sellercloud prides itself on making sure certain things are automated with certain tasks, such as when new orders come in from certain channels or certain marketplaces, the system can actually give direction and manipulate the outcome of the fulfillment process. Now, this is where the order rule comes into play. Now, let's take a look at some of the improvements that we have made. So, when creating an order rule, you need to tell the system what to look for. We call these conditions. So, you can set certain parameters. You can tell the system to look for certain things. We've added many new conditions, and as of late, one that comes to mind is shipping to a PO box. Now, sometimes shipping to a PO box can get very complicated, right? You have to use certain carriers, certain shipping services. With this condition, you can actually flag the orders as they come in. If the ship destination is a PO box, we can reroute the workflow so it can be fulfilled correctly and actually save money on mistakes and shipping charges. The less mistakes, the more money in your pocket. I'm sure everybody can like that here. Another one is payment method. Nowadays, the most common form of payment is plastic, credit card. Now, we want to make sure that the credit card number is valid. So with this condition, you can flag in orders with certain payment methods, such as credit cards, and put the whole order through a verification process to make sure that the card is valid and you're able to process the order. Now, this one is one of my favorite ones. Now, there's so many different scenarios that this one can be used for, and it's probably one of the most common ones as well. So especially if you're dealing with 3PLs, you're drop shipping, you're directly from your vendors, or even if you're shipping from your multiple different warehouses that you own, and also using multi-channel fulfillment as well. So for example, if you have a multi-item order and all the products are not stored at one location, you can easily have the order split and fulfilled from multiple different locations according to your preference and according to the inventory that you have available. Now, many people who are familiar with the order rule engine, because we've had it for a little bit now, but these are just little enhancements that we made, that in the past you were only able to set certain parameters, whether it be by the kit parent SKU or by the product ID. Now we've added the ability to set the condition to look at the kit component itself. So if you have a bundle, actually the parts, the smaller parts inside the bundle. So whether it's a particular kit component SKU, if it's related to a certain product group, certain product type, or even a certain brand. So now that we've set all of our conditions, our parameters, we told the rule what to look for, right? Now we need to tell the rule what to do with it. So this is where the actions come in. So let's take a look at some of the newest actions that we've added. So one is for signature required. Now for certain orders, for example, within or above a certain dollar amount, you can even make it so that the shipment must be signed for at the time of delivery. So it's marked as signature required. This can potentially save you from paying for a ShipBridge plugin. I'm not sure if I'll get in trouble for that afterwards. So one other one is update order custom columns. Now, a lot of people know that we're able to add custom columns for you guys. And let's say an order comes in, the rule plays out, but then you change the custom column later on. So you may want to timestamp that, and with this action, that will actually allow you to do that. Another one is allow shipping without payment. Now, I know most people like to get paid before they fulfill their actual order. However, there may be a certain time where you have certain customers that you trust, and you're okay to receive payment at a later time. With this action, once you set your certain conditions, for example, by customer, then these orders from those certain customers can be marked as okay to ship even without payment and not hold up your shipping workflow so the orders still get out the door. This one is one of our newer ones. Now, this is add an order item. Now, this new action allows you to add certain products to a new order. Now, some people are probably wondering, why would we do that, right? This customer on a channel places an order, you want to fill it, get it out the door. But here, let's say a good example would be, let's say you have a promotion on your website, right? Your promotion is that if your order is greater than $100, then we will give you a $10 gift card towards your next purchase. Now, this could be even a good incentive to get them back on your website, right? Another great scenario is if you're selling refurbished electronics, right? If you're selling a tablet or a phone or some sort of device and you want to have a charger added to that order for every single product that comes in. Now, you can filter by the product IDs and have the action of adding this order item to it. Now, a couple of general changes that we've actually made. So now that we've set up the rule with the various different conditions and actions, now let's talk about the execution. One of the options that we added was the ability to delay the execution from running. Now, most common scenario is when payments are delayed a few seconds by the certain channels that come in, right? So it may even be less than 5 seconds. But just so we want the rule to run properly, we want to make sure that once the payment is in, then the rule can run so everything is processed correctly. Now, of course, you can enable all these rules to run as the orders come in automatically just by toggle and enable all of them. But you can also run the rule against certain orders manually. So you can do it from the manage page of the rules right here. Enter the order IDs and select which rules you want to run. Now, the other option is to do it on a single rule on certain orders. So all you have to do is click into the actual rule, right? Hit the little briefcase looking icon and enter your order ID, and the rule will run for you as well. Now, this next topic is order snapshot. Now, the order snapshot, this may be a hidden gem to certain people. Now, this will be very useful if you need to split orders, but later you need to see what the original order came in as. So the snapshot will actually show you the order and the items and how it looked in its original form prior to being split. You can see the related order IDs and also the items that are related to it as well. And also, which may come in handy, is there's a link directly taking you to the profit and loss report for this particular order itself. Now let's talk about the FBA Opportunities Report. Everybody loves a good opportunity. So this report will take into account your merchant-fulfilled products that you have in Sellercloud and consider what you may gain if you start selling on FBA. Now, using all the costs that you have in Sellercloud that it takes to fulfill an order for said item, we show what cost and profit margin would be if you had the same number of sales over the same time period, but instead of merchant fulfilled, it was FBA. Now, like a lot of other settings and tools, we have a client setting for this. You can turn this on and off. So you can always enable, disable this report when you go into your client settings as well. There is a subsetting now. The subsetting to set the amount of days you want the report to look back at, whether it's 3 days, 30 days, and it'll show you how many merchant-fulfilled orders that you actually received within those days. So one great filter is filter by net margin, right? So if you filter by net margin, you can see your products with the highest profitability at the top of the list on the report. Now, we're just going to go through the columns real quick just so I can explain it, since this is a brand new report. So the first column is the item price. Now, this is the price that you're currently selling your product at on Merchant Fulfilled. The next one is commission fee. Now, this is the current commission that Amazon takes for the product that you're selling. The FBA fees. The FBA fees is the cost for Amazon to fulfill it as an AFN order. Item cost. Now, this is your cost for the product from when you purchased it from your vendor, from your manufacturer. And next is your shipping cost. Now, this is what your current average dollar amount you spent on shipping this product. Your FBA cost. Now, this is your commission plus your FBA fees minus the selling price. Your cost. This is your commission plus the item cost plus the shipping cost minus the selling price. Your FBA profit. This is your price of the item minus the FBA cost. Your profit, which is the item price minus your cost. Now, this is probably one of the most important to you guys. Now, another option is directly from here, if you see some products that you think you'll gain from being on FBA as well, instead of going back to another screen, you can actually create the shadows for FBA directly from this report. And on the other hand, if you have some products on there that you say, I'm never going to sell this on FBA, that's completely fine. Just hit the dismiss item. and it just won't show up on the report again. And of course, like many other things, you're able to export this to Excel. Predictive restocking improvements. So we have a couple of different restocking reports. One of them is the predictive purchasing report. This is for restocking for your warehouses that you own, right? Or let's say your 3PLs, you can even look at those as well. Now, we've added a second level of data. Now, this is more detailed information, so let's go ahead and take a look. So there's a daily sales graph. Now, this is pulled live when you run the report and shows the last 365 days of sales per day, right? We also have a grid with multiple days of order. Now, this shows you the result for multiple days of order, not just the ones that you select in the search, but the days of order you selected will be colored in yellow. If you want to use one other result, you can click Use. That's right up there, and it will populate with the quantity to restock. Then we have our in-stock days, right? So in the in-stock days, when using in-stock days, we will show you how many days you had in stock. And also in the red, it actually indicates that it's projected velocity and not fully based on a real sales history, though. It's a projected velocity. You can also see your sales velocity based on last year's sales and your excess stock. So if your restock quantity is 0, you can see your excess stock by just hovering over that little tooltip right over there. So you can see this one says there's 39 and 15 left of excess stock. Next, we have the blackout days. So the blackout days feature allows you to exclude specific days, entire date ranges, or sale quantities above or below a specific number from the calculation of the report. Now, for example, if there was a sales spike or there were no sales at all, you can actually exclude it from the report. So perfect example, Valentine's Day just passed last month, right? So if you're selling teddy bears, let's say Be My Valentine, obviously you're not going to want to reorder for next month. So you can just exclude that product for the next order, and they'll just won't even count it in the report. Now, similar to predictive purchasing, we also have FBA restocking report as well. Now, the main difference in the FBA restocking report, now I've been asked about this multiple different times, like, can we add this, can we add this? So we added this feature in this report, which like I said, I've been asked multiple times. It's for the estimated storage fees, right? So, which does take into account the product size tier and the highs and lows of the seasons throughout the year as well. Next, we have the Amazon multi-location inventory. Now, locations where you ship orders from to manage your order handling time, your daily order handling capacity, and holidays across all locations that you ship orders from. So in this, by clicking into the location code, you can actually select your default warehouse for where the inventory will be deducted from. And we also have an hour section where you can supply your source for when deliveries can be made through certain hours, and also your handling time as well. So there are many more product updates to come. There's many other people going to be speaking for me as well after me. But just bear in mind, as Jeremy mentioned, we have that products update page on our website, so you can always go back to that, refer back to that, and see as we're updating more and more items and more products that we currently have, you guys will actually see that in real time, so we do update that as constant as we can. But with that, thank you very much, and I'll bring Gary back up.